Okay, so we, at 5:06 PM, we're going to officially start the Lowell Veterans Commission meeting.
Roll call, Walter O'Neill. Here.
Yes, sir.
Richard Cody.
Here.
James Harmon. Here. Jacqueline Coles.
Present.
James Hall, present.
And we're going to call in Mr. Gaffney.
Mr. Mitchell, also present, and I'm calling Mr. Gaffney right now. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, currently present, soon to be 6.
Wish we had this many people show up to our meetings.
Good evening.
Hey, Jay, we just did the roll call, so we have 6 present right now. And Mr. Mitchell is also here, pending his appointment. And Mr. James Harmon just got appointed.
Okay,
So Jacqueline's going to start the meeting.
So we're just going to look towards that exit side where we see the flag, and Mr. Cote will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we have a pretty healthy agenda tonight, and I'm just going to go through this agenda and we can have a conversation about it. The first item of discussion on our agenda is a review of our accomplishments. This is our last meeting of 2024, and I think that our main accomplishment this year is actually obtaining 9 members
Having meetings.
and hosting, we've held September, October, November, 4 meetings.
Organized.
We also participated in the Lowell Veterans Day Commission, Veterans Day commemoration. Have we had any other successes or accomplishments?
We've been having guest speakers,
Ah, thank you so much. Yes.
not congressmen, but
Yeah, still here.
okay, great.
Okay, so we had 3 guest speakers. Yes, it was the
Well,
state
yeah.
senator, it was the suicide prevention,
Yeah.
and it was also the Lowell City Parking Director.
that's right.
And it was ad hoc, VFW Post 662. And we also had Mr. Gaffney's brother, who
Oh,
got
yeah.
up and
Yeah,
made
yeah.
some words as well.
Yeah,
All right,
that was good.
awesome. So I
Yeah.
think for our first year out the gate, well, not our first year, from my understanding, since I came on board, I'll say our re-emergence, maybe that's a better term?
Organized.
Re-emergence. So the next thing I have on our agenda is reviewing our commission in charge. We can forego that one tonight if everyone agrees. I would just ask, I've emailed it out and I can re-email it out for us to just, every meeting, just re-acclimate ourselves to why they put this commission together and what our charge is supposed to be.
Before inauguration day, under heavy criticism
wanna
from
ask
President-elect Trump.
Jay, could you mute?
To FBI search for classified
Jay?
documents that led to Mr. Trump's criminal indictment.
Put them on mute.
I hung up. I'm going
Okay,
back.
all right. So the next thing is reviewing any change in members. So at present, we have apparently officially received a new member. Mr. Harmon, would you like to tell us and the folks at home a little bit about yourself?
I'm a 34-year-old service-connected disabled veteran, senior vice commander of DAV Chapter 25 in Lowell. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Air Force veteran.
Why did you want to join this Veterans Commission? That would,
To help my fellow veterans.
absolutely, I'm not joking.
I mean, that's the reason I work with the DAV as a volunteer, is to help veterans and their families get the benefits that they've earned, because dealing with the VA sucks.
It can be challenging, I'll agree. Well, welcome, and we are absolutely glad to have you. In the audience with us, we also have a Mr. Adam Mitchell, who may or may not be on camera, I'm not certain, but he has mentioned that he has also submitted paperwork to the city to become a member of this commission. This commission, if I'm not mistaken, is eligible for a total of 11 members, and we are approaching 11 members, so this is awesome. I just want to reiterate
Very
one
good.
more time that everyone on this commission has an active role or should be actively participating
All right, I'll let him know. We
in
were getting
our
back feed
activities
from,
and
the
communicating
television, so
as
that's why I had to hang up.
thoroughly as possible.
I'll put you back on speaker.
It doesn't matter because we're not being shown it right now anyway.
Mr. Gaffney believes we're not on TV now.
That's fine. It will be on later, which we typically are. They record it and then post it
All right.
afterwards. So the next topic we have is, Mr. Gaffney, actually, this one is the discussion that we had. Do you want to speak to the attendance policy?
Well, on the attendance policy, I'm not opposed to attendance policy. I think it's a good idea to have one. I just think that anything that involves actions against any individual shouldn't take place until after the policy. Any actions taken against individuals based on that policy should not be effective until the policy is in place.
Agreed. And if everyone wasn't able to hear, Mr. Gaffney was mentioning that he agrees with having an attendance policy, but there should be no action against any member unless and until there is a policy in place. Mr. Gaffney, are you still volunteering, or does anyone else want to volunteer to create and submit as a recommendation? I'm not exactly sure what the routing policy is, if this has to be approved by the city manager or not, but we will go through the appropriate channels. But Mr. Gaffney, you did offer to draft this policy letter, unless someone here would like to step up and do that.
I didn't offer to draft it, and I won't, except that I will give it some thoughts, and I will probably draft something. Couple of things on the absences. We're going to have a time frame. If it's from 1 year to the next, is it for one person's term? So I don't know. I'd like to think everybody is starting with a clean slate right now. But going forward, how are their absences going to be measured? If it's going to be 3, is it 3 a year? Is it 3 during the term? That's something that needs some thought.
Yes, sir, and that's why we are asking someone to draft the policy. I did understand you to have volunteered for that just in our discussion. Absolutely no worries. I will take that on and send that out to the group as a recommendation for review. And then once we all have our own consensus, we can send it up to whomever the powers that be are that would ultimately say, yes, this is now tied to the Lowell Veterans Commission. Or if there already is one with the city that I'm just unaware of, then perhaps we can just use that one.
Sounds good to me. If someone wants to rough something out, I'll take a look at it. And if I have any contribution, I will go ahead and make it. There is a question about the time frame, and I don't think it's a problem, but I don't know if you want to define what is an excused absence or not. But I think anybody that calls in and says they can't make it for a good reason is probably an excused absence.
Copy. So like I said, I'm going to take that on and get back to the group.
Okay.
Okay. So that is also in line with, how do you all feel? Let me ask that question about, well, we have a charge. We have the charter, and you don't have the charter, or maybe they did provide it to you, but if not, I'll make sure that you receive that in email.
I don't think I've received it.
Copy. So I'll make sure that you receive a copy of the charter. But this commission is not going to be effective if the preponderance of us are not actively participating. I know I'm a broken record here. But I'd like to know what everyone else feels about how we can all ensure that we're holding up our pole in the tent.
I have it
I'll
for
say it
him
that
if you
way.
want to give it to him.
Oh, awesome, thank you.
Here's a copy if you wanted to.
Oh, no, I have one, I have. Thank
It's
you.
got other notes.
I'm open, I'm listening.
Originally, it was 3 absences in a row without call.
Not attendance. Are you talking attendance or, okay.
Originally, last week or the last month, was 3 absences in a row without notifying anybody. Not 3 absences in a tenure.
So the question I'm asking about is, assuming everyone is attending the meetings, how do we hold each other accountable for actively participating in this commission? Because for us to just come to the commission and listen to me talk, and then we go home and then nothing happens, that's, in my opinion, that's just not effective when we should disassemble. But I want to hear everyone else's thoughts.
It's been a problem since I first started a long time ago. We never had enough people for a meeting.
So if I were to assign you a task, you would let me know whether you can or cannot adhere to that?
I don't have a computer, so I'm not good at.
Well, I can call you, and I send you mail. You get
Yes,
my letters,
yes.
although this one, I apologize, was a little late.
I got this from Eric the other day.
Okay,
Eric wouldn't be here tonight either.
yeah, you did let me know that. But if there's something that we require accomplishing on this commission, would you be open to taking on a task if it's something that you feel comfortable accomplishing?
Possible.
Okay.
I'm not good at a lot of that stuff.
I think you're good at some things.
I'll help it.
Oh, look, see? That's awesome. That's awesome. That's what it's all about,
you pick me
camaraderie
up.
and your battle buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. But how about the rest of you all? I mean, because we have a Memorial Day activity coming up. We have, and I'm going out of order here, but we have a request. I apologize, I'm tired, so my brain is not functioning properly. We have a request to the city manager about the Memorial Day activity that we'd like to have at Colley Stadium that we mentioned before. There are a slew of activities and coordination that is going to be required. Mr. Paradise mentioned that he has a lot of connections. I have absolutely 100% offered to help. I think we should do a Memorial Day activity. But at present, I can't do this alone. And if I'm going to be the only one that's working and doing this, we might as well shut down shop and just keep it moving.
Has this been brought up to the city yet?
Yes, we just submitted it to the city, and we're waiting for our response back.
Well, I know the DAV's looking to get more involved on pretty much whatever you have going on.
That's awesome.
We were looking to actually, I think we spoke about it at the Veterans Day ceremony, how we were looking to piggyback with you guys on the Memorial Day event. And
Agreed.
kinda just like help you guys, help the commission, and get the DAV out there a little more, so people know that we're actually still here. Maybe bring in some members for us and stuff like that.
Absolutely. So now that you are bona fide on this commission, and that you're a commission member, dual-headed with the DAV and any other volunteer activities that you're working, would you be okay with taking on some of the tasks that we have in carrying out the duties of this commission?
Sure.
Okay,
I'm sure I can get Adam to help me out.
all right. I like the way that I said that better.
We'll make Patrick pull some strings for us.
So same question for you, Mr. O'Neill. I feel like you're already on board. Like, you're like, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. If we have a task, whether it's Memorial Day or related
Yeah.
to the commission, are you on board? If it's something within your
Yeah.
ability to do,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I can't get military vehicles there.
I mean,
A helicopter.
I don't know what you can do, sir. I don't know.
I can get a food truck there.
That'll work.
Yeah,
might
sure.
be able to handle
That's why
that part.
that's why I'm on the commission, right?
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Memorial Day.
All right, awesome.
So
I mean,
far,
that's not our, that's our,
I
just
saw
the
the
event that
draft.
we're
I mean, the
working
draft is
towards.
nice. I mean, I know everything's not gonna transpire, but there's a lot of,
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot in
And-
our charge and in our
and-
charter.
and at the end of it, it said there's gonna at least 150 people there. I think there's gonna be more than that.
Okay. Yeah, I just threw out a number.
You know what I mean? Gets out.
Okay. Mr. Hall, over to you, sir.
Sure, I guess I'm just somewhat worried about exceeding our charge, and that most commissions in the city vote on policy or make decisions. They actually don't carry out the decision. So that's just my one worry, but I'm certainly,
Sorry, say that one more time.
most or almost every single commission or appointed body in the city votes on policy, and then I guess the groups assigned to them carry out the policy decisions of the boards.
Are you speaking to the attendance?
No, I'm talking about, for example, Memorial Day.
Okay.
And I think the objection was I may not be able to, plant flowers, for example. I would suggest that's what the full-time city employees would do. So I'm just,
Well,
talking.
no, I'm only asking
Right.
if it's for all the activities that we're saying we're gonna
Yeah.
do on this commission. Are you open to, and are you agreeing that if there's tasks that need to be performed and it's something that you can do, would you be willing to take on a task to carry it
Yes,
out?
I guess what I'm just bringing up is there are full-time city employees that are available at our disposal for stuff that we think is best too, so.
Absolutely.
I'd
Can you tell
rather-
us more about that?
I'd rather use them than, our people if possible.
What he's saying is delegation.
Mr. Lo-
Absolutely, but there are some things I don't think that we can delegate. I think some things we're gonna have to carry out ourselves. But 100% agree with
Mm-hmm.
you. And I'm gonna lean on you for city integration and coordination because I just don't have the understanding and connections.
All right, I'm just saying, like, Mr. Lamache, for example, has a staff.
Oh, absolutely. He's 100% on board and aware. 100%. Can you name any others?
No, but I just wouldn't want us taking away his duties.
Oh,
That's
no,
what's
no,
right.
no, no, no. Do we feel like this Memorial Day activity should be in the hands of a different group?
Honestly, I think we should try and reach out to all the veterans organizations, get them to participate, because it seems like the DAV is we're the last man standing as far as veteran nonprofits in the city. It's just,
I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I'm asking a different question. So, right now, no one's taking on the Memorial Day activity that we're aware of, and we want to have the city of Lowell host it. This is what we discussed before. And so we've taken it upon ourselves to say, hey, as a Lowell Veterans Commission, we are recommending to the city that we would like to host this. Do you agree? And we'd like to have it at Cauley Stadium. We presented them with the entire, I'll say, draft plan. From that, we put in there all of the different organizations, non-exhaustive list of participants that we would like to include. And so as soon as the city says, yes, we can get everyone on board, start adding emails to the overall list, and then start the actual execution and planning and coordination and all of that.
yeah, I think it's just, we need to see what we could delegate and what we have to deal with on our own, and then kind of go from there, because if we don't know what we can and can't delegate, then it kind of seems like we're gonna have to do it all ourselves, but if there's stuff that we can delegate out to other agencies, other personnel, then maybe we should try and figure that out. That way we can focus on what's actually within our realm and what we actually have to do.
Oh, this isn't within our charter. This type of activity is in our charter. If you haven't seen the plan that was sent, because we do have exactly what you're saying on there, folks that may be responsible for different activities, but we're responsible for, I guess, being the puppet master, ensuring that it is coordinated and occurs.
So management and delegation. But
Right.
I'm not talking just like Memorial Day, I'm
Okay.
talking about just like
In general. Absolutely. I 100% agree.
Because if there's stuff that we can delegate out and all we have to do is like oversee it,
Right,
that gives us time to focus on the things that we actually do.
right.
We have to actually accomplish, and then if the people we delegate to have issues, they can just come back to us, get it straightened out, things keep going.
Okay, so I think I'm getting what you're putting down now. So for me, we still have a charge. We still have requirements and we still have things to do. I don't believe that this is hey, I want to do this, go do it. I'm going to sit back and make sure you get it done. I still feel like we have an active role in it and we should,
Well,
so
like
we're
you
all on the
said,
same page.
We're kind of like the
We're on the same page.
We're like the general contractor, and we're subbing things out to different agencies, and then just kind of overseeing them, making sure it gets done the way we want it done.
I'm mostly agreeing with your statement. All right, cool. Cool. So if for the next meeting, we can validate when your term began, and I think I have when it ends, and I'll email that back out if you all can just let me know. And it doesn't seem like the city has this because I sent it to them, and what they have, they gave to me, and what I have, I gave to them, so if we can assist them, that would
It's
be
on
perfect.
some web page
I gave
somewhere,
that,
right?
we
Right.
coordinated that one, and that's,
Right.
our beginning date isn't solid. So if Mr. LaMarche were here, I would ask him one more time, and I would also ask the commission about, remember Mr. LaMarche was telling us how they used to have the veterans card for Lowell, and the machine was fixed, and then on top of that, some of the stores here in Lowell aren't providing the discounts anymore. Does anyone recall that conversation? Yeah.
The machine is not fixed, I don't think.
I think that's something that we can take on. I think that that's a smaller task versus the Memorial Day task that we're doing, that we can work. If you know anyone in the city working with Mr. LaMarche that can help us to reinstitute that and have a conversation with some of the city businesses and see how that can pan out to also assist our veterans, I think that would be great. That's in addition to the city council and the parking department and the state through the HERO Act offering us the free parking and the free license plates. So I guess here's where a task comes in. Who would like to lead the charge in coordinating with humans and reporting back on that activity? Or do we want to do that? I would say through email, but I'm hesitant.
This is why we need to get Adam back on the commission.
So he can do the work?
He's good at all this coordination and dealing with people and all that.
I thought Mr. LaMarche was coordinating the discount card 5 years ago.
And he may have, he said it has discontinued. And so we want someone to work with him and assist him and whomever else in the city, like you mentioned. I just don't know the members to go put letters on their desk or be persistent in reminding them that, hey, we would like to get this started, or who should I go talk to, or stuff like that. Mr. O'Neill, I'm gonna make you.
Weren't we connected with the city manager's assistant? I forget the woman's name.
Miss,
Michelle?
DeRoche.
Yeah. Doesn't she help us anymore? She got us all back together.
She does, yeah, she's still
called me a few
around, she
times.
still helps
Oh.
us. I'm gonna put you down, Mr. O'Neill.
For what?
To work with Mr. Roche and team and Mr. LaMarche to try and institute back this,
Tell me what I gotta do. I never realized there was a card that we had with discounts in the city. Is that something that I missed?
I think the first step is
Good.
have a conversation with Mr. LaMarche, and he
Because
can give you the history.
It was
of
like
it.
7 years ago.
10% off at Lowe's and Home Depot. That's a different thing?
Yes.
A little card just for the
I know at
city?
Lowe's you have to register.
Oh, you put your
online.
phone number in there. It's a
Yeah,
little
and then
confusing.
when you go-
Then you gotta scan your
That's the
driver's
one for the city
license.
of
It's a
Lowell?
pain.
No, it's not connected with the
What
city
he's
of Lowe's.
showing us, what Mr. Cote is showing us, is that the,
That's the one that
Oh,
Eric.
I never
gave
had
me.
one of those.
back in so that's the card for the city of Lowell? For the veterans card?
Yeah, it's the city of Lowell.
All right.
Now, he gave me this, but now he says, just talked to him the other day about this. Somehow the machine got broken, and he's having a hard time getting it.
Right, and so we're here to assist him. That's our role. One of our roles is here to assist Mr. LaMarche, and assist the city and assist our veterans here in Lowell. If Mr. LaMarche doesn't have the bandwidth, then we can figure out how we can get the support, and we might just have to knock on a few doors, send a few emails, write a few letters, follow up, secure some donations, and see what we can do to get that going again. Do you guys want to team up on that with Mr. LaMarche?
Okay. What'd you do with that card? Just show it to somebody in stores in the city and they get a
Well-
discount? There's nothing to scan on it.
I hate to
Did it work? Did you
So,
try
I
it?
just
give Home
mentioned
Depot a
that-
bad time, but you can't get a discount unless you have a.
Regarding the Memorial Day activity, so it's still being planned
have to
for
have
the
a
weekend
computer.
after Memorial Day. We sent the request letter to the city manager, and we have a draft plan on there. It's not solid, at Colley Stadium, and we also asked for requested use of the additional fields that they have over there. We mentioned before that Mr. Paradise and I walked the grounds, and he showed me what his vision was, and I just put pen to paper on what I believe needed to be done. On there, we have a few organizations listed, we have a few POCs listed. Of course, we're looking for maximum amount of donations because we are a non-fundraising, non-fund receiving entity. And all of this, it takes money, even if it's an in-kind donation, which is just giving your time or whatever else. So working with the city, working with all these other organizations, I think it can happen. But we want it to be sponsored, held, hosted by the city of Lowell.
So
Yes,
where
sir.
would the money go, Jacqueline?
Where would the money go?
So if there are donations, where do they go?
We'd have to figure that out. I don't know all of the
Keep your wallet out.
details of our planning. I just have our draft right now. But if we needed to pay for toilets, for example, what do you call those, porta potties, if they're not donated, we would need to pay for that. There's a podium that we need to pay for that the city, this is me coming off the top of my head, a podium that the city can't provide us, we would need to pay for that. If we have to pay for any details for police officers, if there's, I don't know, anything that we need to do. Maybe perhaps the military won't come for free. Maybe they need something. I can't think right now. The Ruck March, we may absolutely would need funding for that unless someone's going to donate for the timing machines, for the water and the water route, for the, what do you call, the bibs that you put on. I think they have that for the Ruck March. I'd have to ask Mr. Paradise. Things like that is what I can say it would go to, but we would have that absolutely detailed out so everyone would know where their money is going. So one of our other charges is civic outreach and promoting educational opportunities and programs involving veterans on a recurring basis. Now, LTC was absolutely 100% awesome in letting us use this facility. LTC has programming where potentially we can make a commercial that lets them know about the Lowell Veterans Council, how to get in contact with Mr. LaMarche. I don't know if he already has this, to be quite honest. But something that gets veterans' attention or attention of the public that can notify a veteran, let them know, did you know about these services? Did you know about this educational activity? So perhaps we can spend our time creating something in
I think
conjunction.
that's where the DAV can be a big help, because we've been out trying to do that same thing for, I think, probably about a year now. In trying to get the chapter up and running and reestablished, letting people know that we're here, and then letting people know what we do, what the DAV does in general. So I think that would be something that we could take care of, because we've made a lot of connections. I know I've made a lot of connections just in the past year in
So-
working through the DAV.
I'm going to write you down as a member of the Lowell Veterans Commission, and if you would like to team with the DAV, who you're also repping, that's awesome.
And we do it all for free.
Absolutely. Freedom isn't free. All right. And I have some ideas rolling in my head, so I'll get with you on that as well. And I'm going to put DAV also. So one of our additional charges is researching and reporting to the city manager of the needs of local veterans. We had a conversation with Mr. LaMarche a few meetings ago where we were asking, are there surveys that we can put out there? Is there a list of all the veterans that are out there? If I recall correctly, some of the responses were, maybe they tried a survey back in the day, but it wasn't as successful. And I think Mr. LaMarche may have a partial list, but not a full list, because some folks may not have wanted to self-identify, I think. Do you guys recall that? We had, this conversation was in City Hall. What am I getting wrong?
Yeah, I remember the conversation.
Okay.
I know that some people didn't want to put their information out.
So I think the city has that information because when they send out the letter to confirm your voting status every year, I think you check off if you're a veteran. So it must be categorized somewhere.
Do you feel comfortable reaching out to the city, asking them how we obtain that list, and if we can use it for veteran survey purposes, of course, working through them to get approvals before anything is sent out, and working with Mr. LaMarche?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. And some of the notes that I wrote down is, what ways are we able to conduct a survey to obtain the required info? What info do we want to obtain and why? And then just, I guess, a reiteration of where's the veterans list in Lowell. I don't know if there's money. Yes, sir, sorry.
I got a question. Do we know, I know the homelessness problem right now is a big thing everywhere. Do we you have any idea of the homeless veteran population in the city?
Mr. LaMarche has an idea, but I don't know that answer off the top of my head. I'll write that down for him to get back to you, though.
Because that could be a really a big way to make a big impact and a very visible impact as a commission.
If I might
If
ask,
we can help in some way.
what way do you recommend, or what are you thinking in your mind?
Just providing services like I said, the DAV helps with veterans benefits. We help. I know our department in general offers housing to veterans, and our center in I think it's Gardner has like townhouse style housing for veterans and their families.
They're building more.
Yeah, we're in our department is in the process of building more units through a grant from, I think it was the state, right? Or was it the feds?
State and federal.
Would you like to come back in our
Majority
January? Spencer, go ahead, sir.
I think the majority of the money is state. True.
Would you like to come back in your dual hat capacity in January and present specifically on behalf of the Disabled Veterans
Sure.
Organization?
We'll have to get Patrick to come down. We can have the three, basically the top three in our chapter come down and,
We can even get somebody from the state.
yeah. Maybe we can get Mike to come down.
It'll help Barry, he'll know the big picture of the process.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike.
I'll follow up with you. I'm
Or we could probably, have Patrick reach out to Andrea.
however you do, I'm gonna use you as my
Yeah.
contact though. Okay, awesome. And I wrote down your notes about homeless population and asked Mr. LaMarche about some things. Do we have any, open actions from our previous meetings? I don't think we do. I don't think so. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Is this going to be permanent here?
No, it's not, but we are a, what do you call this? We're their first, and we are a trial, and I think that we're doing an awesome job using the space. We're doing an awesome job using these mics. It makes it so much easier for LTC to be in this space. So
I like it here. I
We-
can hear everybody, I can hear what everybody's saying.
that as well. So we can see,
What's it like?
we can bring it to the January commission and let everybody vote on it and see if that's what we want to do, if it's authorized by the city. And if LTC agrees, I'll write that down as well. That's awesome.
So it'd be nice to have a
Jacqueline.
permanent meeting space.
Can I get a moment when we're close to the end of the agenda?
Sure.
Absolutely.
You ready now?
I'm
What
ready
about
now.
Jim?
All right.
We have a Veteran of the Month program, which honors veterans who have made a contribution to the city and also served their country. We haven't made an award for a little while. What I plan to do is send out a notice to the commission members just summarizing what the program is. And at the next meeting, when we are televised, we'll have a combination discussion announcement for ourselves and also for any of the public that is listening. And I will also try to get on the mayor's agenda, or the mayor council's agenda, early next year to make another announcement when I would be reinforced by what other members want to accompany that trip. And so I will get the notice discussing what the program is in a general way out within the next week or so.
Mr. Gaffney, so I have that on the agenda here, and you said, and correct
I
me.
don't see it.
Next
I know
month.
you don't see it. So Veterans of the Month, I'm saying I have it on today's agenda, so you were absolutely covered. But you said that you were going to work to get on the mayor's agenda to have a conversation about this Veteran of the Month, correct?
Well, I was really having them going to have an announcement of what the program is, just a description of it, and encourage people that know of a veteran who would qualify to contact us, so that we could vote on their eligibility for the award. And And I think, and that's one of the reasons I'm thinking of sending out a summary now, is that some of the new members may have a veteran in mind themselves.
Because I'm not familiar, and I don't know if everyone else is familiar with it, but I know how you are big on making sure that the commission agrees with it and that we all agree on the wording and everything prior to it going out to anyone else. So we should be looking for your recommendation or even past wording on how this program works, what the criteria is, selection process. You're going to send all of that to the commission before we go back and talk to the city or anyone else, correct?
Sure. I mean, we could discuss it at our own next meeting. But I will send out what I think is a summary of the program. We haven't had new recommendations for a while. So again, after the new members have the chance to review what it is, they may know of a veteran who deserves that kind of recognition, and we could get that started.
He said he's sending it to us, right? Is that what he said? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could send that summary to us, just the commission first, so we can either not respond, say yay or nay, whichever, before we send it out. Because a summary is awesome, but we must have bona fide concrete criteria that we have used in the past. That is the application form, the judging form.
Sure, I think that makes. I think we have something in writing somewhere. I doubt I could find it. But
Mr. LaMarche would have that,
I'll
though,
put
right?
something together. Maybe people will have some suggestions as to amendments, but I'll get that out fairly quickly, and we should be in good enough shape to be able to make a sort of an announcement at the January meeting, and get on the mayor's agenda either shortly after.
And the purpose of this is to just acknowledge the work and progress, I guess I'll say, of a veteran in the city of Lowell, correct?
It's who is a veteran and who has made a contribution to the city of Lowell. In most cases, it would be a Lowell resident, but if it's someone from outside Lowell, but makes a contribution in Lowell, they would still be eligible.
Are you thinking and or in the past, has it been on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, or what's the frequency?
I didn't hear what you said then.
Was it on a monthly or quarterly? So what happened is we'd often miss months. So then
So it wasn't a monthly basis.
three would be
It's
presented
called
at a time.
Veteran
The
of the
city
Month.
councilors
But it
would show
wasn't
up.
intended to be on a monthly basis.
Veteran of the month. So
Okay.
basically, the theory was an older veteran would come in, their family would be there, they'd be recognized. The city councilors would, at least more than half of them would show up, and there'd be a photo opportunity. So it's pretty,
And they would go in the sun also?
sometimes, and then there'd be refreshments the city would provide. So it was a pretty good event.
Mr. Gaffney and team, would you all be open to having that quarterly versus monthly? Go ahead, Mr. O'Neill, go
I
ahead.
think it's good to do quarterly, because we only meet once a month, you know what I mean? So to do it every month, and a lot of times, I remember this happened a year or two ago, people were approaching, I really didn't want to be, you know what I mean? They just,
The recipients didn't want
Yeah.
to receive?
Yeah. they
It
didn't
works
want it.
out to be quarterly because
Not everybody.
we haven't had the
Right.
they put an application in for
we
somebody,
haven't had the
and they
membership, but
water store, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I would say
You could still do it quarterly, Jay, and you could just say the month
Yeah.
for the council.
You could put 3 in quarterly.
I'm sorry, just one at a time, Mr. Gaffney. go ahead.
especially veterans who are older, I would say that we ought to schedule the awards to accommodate that. But yeah, if it goes quarterly, maybe that's what it'll be. I don't know.
So
go
ahead.
Sorry, I think from a logistical perspective, it would
I think we
easier
can be
to do
kind of
quarterly.
flexible on it, depending on what we have for nominations. We can be kind of flexible about when we schedule the awards.
Copy. Mr. Gaffney, Mr. Harmon has a comment to make.
I think just logistically, it would be easier to do it quarterly, and then at each ceremony, we announce the veterans for each month in that quarter.
That's how it happened in effect, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I follow how that works, but
Me neither, just,
I
yeah.
think we were just citing, Jay, that in the past, like, it turned out that we might have 3 show up one month. One might be for June, one July, one August, and the presentation would happen in August. So that's tended to happen that way. And then they brought in cookies and refreshments
And
on
the
that.
city pay for that?
They did.
well, how are you suggesting that works as far as the schedule?
I think what Jacqueline and you talked about, that you dust off those rules and the discourse we had in the past and adjusting it from resident to past contribution to the city, and then the board can talk about it at the next meeting and decide whether to relaunch it. That would be the best way to handle it under open meeting law.
All right, well, I'll leave that. I'll put out a message. I'll put out a message with the criteria and maybe a few other observations and a few other issues, and we can settle it at the next meeting.
Sounds,
Yeah, we'll have a discussion at the next meeting. I'm not sure it may be settled, but absolutely, we should be postured to discuss it.
All right, well, we can, you know, it's.
The
it's
reason
been a
I
while,
say
we
that,
can-
Mr.
it
Gaffney,
could
is
be a little
because
while longer, but,
the reason I,
yeah, if we get some good people nominated, I think we could start scheduling their awards.
I just don't want us to move with haste because it's a program that we now have humans on this commission, but we also need to make sure that we're advertising it properly, which we can use LTC. Man, I love that. You can use the mayor, as you were just discussing, but we want to make sure that our program is a bona fide program. It's a concrete program. It's a documented program. It has objective criteria in the program, and that we're able to have humans respond to this program, and that we're able to meet whatever duration or period frequency that we're saying. Because it's the holiday
When it
season right
was
now,
first put into effect,
Mr. Gaffney, hold on a second.
There were a lot of veterans who've been in, you know, many of them are connected with the city veterans organizations who were fairly well known, and so we had a pretty good pool to select from immediately. And we did I think march ahead once every month, or maybe even more than once a month. Then it seemed to just we seemed to run out of nominees or run out of interest or something. I will go ahead and send out the summary of the program, and then we can discuss it at the next meeting and make a decision as to how we're going to move on it.
Mr. Gaffney, I'm going to speak, but please don't overspeak me so that we can make sure that we're recording this properly. And I'm just going to say that it will be a discussion at the next meeting, likely because, and preponderantly because, we are in the holiday season, and I'm sure people want to enjoy their holidays. So they may look at this as, when we come back, Mr. Gaffney, they may look at it when we come back, and I want to make sure that we have time and we have proper time to discuss it, and then reflect on any questions that we may have, and then move forward. I don't want us to move fast just for the sake of moving fast. But, okay.
All right, we'll see. I will send out a summary.
Thank you.
And maybe just a few other observations of the past history.
Thank you.
And we can make some decisions at the next meeting.
I love it.
All right.
The other topic that we have on the agenda is virtual, having a virtual option. Zoom is typically the way that people use it. I'm on the fence on this one. I actually like having this specific meeting in person, but I think it's because it's convenient for me being in Lowell versus some of my other organizations where I have to go outside of Lowell, and I prefer a virtual option. But what do you all think as far as having a virtual option to attend this meeting? And then we'd have to ask the folks that record if that's authorized and if they have the ability to
I mean, I'm on board
condone
with
that.
it if it makes participation easier, especially for the older members of the commission, and LTC is cool with it, then I'm on board.
I am too. That's definitely a good option. Because I missed one during the summer because I was on vacation down in Cape, but I had my computer with me. I could have made the meeting. And we did it for a long time. During COVID, that's all we did was Zoom.
What do you?
That night like tonight would have been a good night.
It doesn't mean, just because we have the virtual option doesn't mean that you can't come here.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Mr. Hall, what do you think?
I think it's a good option to encourage participation. I agree that it's not the best for discourse and discussion, but I think-
Hybrids. We are in the future. Mr. Gaffney, is he still on?
yes.
Mr. Gaffney, what is your, we're discussing having a virtual option for our Lowell Veterans Commission meetings. The majority of the group is open to having a virtual option in conjunction with the physical in person. What's your thoughts?
My take on it is that it ought to be available because we're facing over the next few months we may be facing some bad weather, some snowstorms. And there are people who might be out of town on some kind of business or military obligation, but would still like to participate. And if they could join in by Zoom, that would be great.
Thank you. All right, so we'll look into that. And by we, I'll look into that.
I was going to say, you're appointing yourself to that?
So VSO update, we don't have that because Mr. LaMarche is not here. City manager, Mr. Roche isn't here in case there's anything for us. Allow me to just run back through the agenda and then we can run through the team to see if we have anything in closing. Okay. Mr. Hall, anything in closing?
No.
Mr. Harmon, anything in closing? Mr. Cote, anything in closing? Mr. O'Neill, anything in closing?
Negative.
Ms. Coles, anything in closing? Yes, I would just like to make one comment to the team. Please respond to emails. Please. Not you, I understand. I understand. So for those that do not know, I take note to ensure to mail Mr. Cote the agenda and meeting minutes because he just does not have a online presence, which is absolutely fine. You are here every meeting, and we appreciate you being here. If you would like us to have meetings at your house and you're going to cook, you let us know.
You're breaking up.
Exactly. All right, awesome. So at 5:53 p.m., this would conclude our Lowell Veterans Commission meeting. Thank you.